is Reg F. and Howard Ra, Siren Buddha Medicine. And a couple years ago, in college, this is my first year, and I had spent a lot of time as a housewife, and I was all nervous, and I had started doing my little yoga and going for my walks in the morning. And cheers. I decided to take a class in communications. One of my first assignments. I mean, it was really scary too, you know. So anyway, I did this assignment, and the teacher said he didn't know what I was talking about. Go figure, right? My first assignment, well, it wasn't my first assignment, but my assignment in communications, the guy said he didn't understand what I was saying. And he's the pro, right? So he must know what he was talking about. Oh, let that be your encouragement. Going to the professionals and asking them to help you to improve your communication, have them scare the mess out of you. Like, I really thought that I wasn't any good at it. Let me tell you why. It's a little story for you. This is about something called Mind Reservation. And it was created by the Catholic Church to protect priests. It's the art of lying without feeling or knowing that you're lying. It's a roundabout truth. It's, well, let's see, shall we? Some words can be used to deceive and manipulate. There are always ways to bend the English language that can ensure you get certain results. Equivocation is one of those ways you can manipulate words. Equivocation is using words when the meaning of them is interchanging. For example, if I say, courage and wisdom go together, do I mean to have wisdom, you must have courage? Or am I saying that people who have courage must certainly, almost certainly be wise? There's a distinction between those two things. One is ambiguous and the other one is absolute. Ambiguous means to be vague. You can do this by using the form of equivocation. For example, if I'm at home with my husband Ken and a bill collector calls and says, "Is Ken there?" And I say, "Ken is not available to speak to you right now," using the tone of authority. I am ensuring no further inquiry about the matter. Do you notice how certain people use a certain tone to provoke a certain response in you to ensure you feel like moving on? You know? Look, you can make it aversive. I am now using equivocation and ambiguous together, you know, as an art, as a way to move people along emotionally, mentally. I have not told the truth, but nor have I told a lie. By being vague and twisting the words, I have managed to ensure that the collector will hang up, assuming that they have been given an answer, therefore ensuring an outcome. Now I will tell you how equivocation turns into fallacies. This is where it gets tricky, a little tricky. The fact that I am using vague by using general descriptive language to explain this is another form of being ambiguous. I could say a quick-witted quote like, "You will succeed if you try. This is fallacious." This is a fallacy. The words fit together and interchange, and they're vague. And then, because they're vague, they're manipulative. The play on words with some inconsistencies I can move a conversation in a way, gaining the advantage over communication strategically. Now I have stepped into the doctrine practice called wide mind reservation. The glamour of it all, huh? The spelling is right here in between the lines. The glamour and the grammar of it all. I wonder what the grimoire would say when it comes to wide mind reservation. Most likely a Masonic practice, because you have to be able to lie to the public at all times and notice the red print. And I'm being philosophical as well as literal. Wide mind reservation is a doctrine that was gained in the 16th century, and it was meant to help the priests to keep safe. It was meant to help priests keep people safe so they would not reveal information to interrogators that might hurt those who the priests were protecting. Wide mind reservation is a doctrine widely used and practiced daily by Catholic priests, nuns, and clergy. This is documented. That's where I got the information from. The historical fact. It is the way to use equivocation and ambiguous, which leads to fallacies, now called the doctrine of wide mind reservation. The Church's reasons for the use of this doctrine in today's world is to help priests and nuns and clergy so that they will be able to lie and tell the truth at the same time. The practice of this doctrine keeps them from feeling that they are, or what they are doing might go against God. The justification is called, the justification is continued, of its continued use. The justification for its continued use in this is, if telling a lie brings justice, then it is simply justified. Yeah. If telling a lie brings justice, then it is simply justified. And that is why wide mind reservation is still being widely used throughout our society today. That is why you can't get a straight answer. That's why there's red tape. That's why people are ambiguous. That's why there's something called fallacies. That's why there's a great website to check out fallacies called Thou Shall Not Commit LogicalFallacies.com. Great website to learn about fallacies and the way they twist things. I ran into it approximately 5 years ago. I was taking this class. It was driving me crazy. This teacher said that he had no idea what I was talking about. And I was crushed. With my little writing skills, he wasn't interested in writing. This was a communications class. But I was interested in him thinking that my idea of my paper on communication was important. I believe that lying is an important part. That the use of lying in our daily communication as an art was a really important part of communication. But I don't think this Masonic dude, this teacher, this professor, this widely used professional media communications professor was agreeing with me at the time. You know what I'm saying? I get it now. Now, at the time I didn't know that. And I felt uncomfortable the way that he said what he said. The way he marked up my paper with those colors to provoke a response. And this newbie to communications and this pro, this housewife, wannabe, standing before him telling him about something that was not supposed to be so prevalent in society as information. But I had already started researching and had been with the band of people that like researching. You know, the geeks, they like to find stuff and just talk about it, just to know it. To know it. Sometimes you need to know stuff. I really needed to know this. Now, when it comes to sociology and social construction, talking about the art of war, talking about, I don't know why I'm showing you this, it's backwards, I know. But anyway, strategic offense, and conquering the complete art of war is greatly preferable to capture a state whole rather than break it up. It is better to capture an army whole rather than break it up. It is better to capture a regiment whole rather than break it up. It is better to capture a platoon whole rather than break it up. It is better to capture a company whole rather than break it up. It is better to, using this principle, you can understand that winning 100 victories out of 100 battles is not the ultimate achievement. Okay? Why are we still here? Why are we still alive? The ultimate achievement is to defeat the enemy without even coming to battle. Are you defeated? Are we defeated? Some would like to think that we are. And they use a lot of fallacies to ensure that we keep thinking that we are. The ultimate achievement to defeat the enemy is to defeat them without even going to battle. Make them think they're defeated. Confuse them. Twist them. Mold them. Shape them. Use wide mind reservation. Trick them. Make them come to you. Make them use your education, your schools, your churches, your soup kitchens, your counselors, your all fallacious, ferocious. Okay. Sociology. What is culture? And this movement is not for you. It's to the powers that be. It's the aggression that I feel in me. It's like all this stuff is all around every day, and you just gotta kind of like your way through it, because most of the people around you are unaware, or they don't care, or it gives you a headache. But you're aware, and you go through your day vibrating, and there are a lot of fallacies and people who carry these things with them. And it's just getting to the place where you know what you know, that you know, that you know what you know. And you can get to the place where you realize it really doesn't mean much to those right next to you. But on the grander scope of things, it makes a ripple. And if you keep putting one foot in front of the other, doing the next best thing outside of the regular construct, it changes things because you're going against the grain. Somehow makes a different vibration and offers a different opportunity or door to do something else. Because I'm going to do it anyway. I just can't do what most of the people next to me are doing. I wasn't made that way. And so they will make it aversive. How do they do that? What is culture? Culture is the totality of learned, social, transmitted customs, knowledge, material, objects, and behavior. It includes the ideas, values, artifacts, for example, DVDs, comic books, and birth control devices of groups and people. Patriotic attachments to the flag of the United States is an aspect of culture. As a national passage, as is the national passage for the tango in Argentina. The way that's worded in the first paragraph, what is culture? Notice how some of our youth are automatically indoctrinated into the service and get to a certain age, like they know in certain parts of society and lower people with lower income, they know that that's an opportunity for them to be able to afford their education, or just to be able to have a better quality of living than the person that they live next door to. And so as a rite of passage, to be able to afford their children their education, their life that they would like to have, they've been looking at on television for the past 18 or so years, and pledging allegiance every day while they're going to school, and realizing that, or being sold the fallacy that American life is better than any other life on the planet. I would have to agree to some aspects of that, but to say that completely would be a fallacy. To say I don't appreciate where I am would also be a fallacy. So, these things, these devices, these DVDs, these comic books, these places that tell you about birth control, these places that form your ideas of God, who shape your meaning and perspective of self, it all holds a vibration of truth. But our truth is a fallacy. What we see is not really what we're getting. Especially if you can edit and you can copy and paste, right? Fallacies also goes into the concept of the dark arts, whom I learned about by watching Bobby Hennett, the art of lying. So this is widely known in occult systems. Or people look at you and say, mm-hmm. And they have a strange way of wording things. Or leaving things out that are very important. So anyway, take a look at that website called Thou Shalt Not Commit Logicalfallacies.com. It's an excellent source for learning about fallacies. And words are powerful. They are powerful. It all starts with an idea. How can you hear an idea if it doesn't vibrate? And even if you don't hear it and you're reading it, it vibrates. It's sending its code. It's light code because you're looking at it through your irises on the paper, and it's sending its frequencies through your understanding or your concept, right? But it's worked and it's been bent through cultural indoctrination. Hard to do this without going further into other occult systems or metaphorical information. Check out the background of the straw men, and Dan Winters on color and light code frequency, just to get an idea of how much, I don't have a better word than this, fuckery is going on, okay? To conceptualize how much tampering is going on with our emotions attached to the things that we see and hear that are warped and bent deliberately, changing our frame of mind as this mind, this field is governing the hearts of man, and it shouldn't be. So this is Reg F. and Howard Raw, Sarah Buddha Medicine, talking about Mind Reservation. It's not a hidden art, it's just not known to the general public. I mean, people lie all the time, but they don't look and see that there's an actual art form of it being widely used by the people around them. I lost my train of thought. Oh, wait a second here. I wanted to show you something. If I can find it, I will. If not, I'll have to cut this out. It was real, here we go. Interesting. Related to fallacies. I'll show you how this grammar is connected to all this glamour. Related fallacies of irrelevance have been named Argentunum ad victurnum. Argentunum ad victurnum. I'm probably murdering that. Or Argentunum ad personam, the appeal of personal interest. And Argentunum ad victurnum is the authority or feeling of reverence or respect. You know? Argentunum ad victurnum. You know, to appeal to the feelings of reverence or respect, or Argentunum ad personam, to appeal to personal interest, and Argentunum ad populum. Ad argentunum ad populum, to appeal to popular prejudice. Okay, and sometimes in Argentunum ad ignorum or auditories is grouped with these, but these names seem to refer not only to specific fallacy, but to the use of any unsound argument is likely to deceive the actual audience. Notice how this last one, or sometimes Argentum ad ignoranium, or ad auditories. Huh? Auditories, ignoranium? Augmentum ad ignoranium. I like the way that sounds. You ignoranius, ignoramus. That used to be something I used to hear in the old movies my mom was watching, and you hear it in the cowboy movies. You ignoramus? You don't go like that, they would say. Okay. And then we have natural prejudices. Okay. Superstitions that words have magical powers or philosophical dogmas. You know. The differences in nature must correspond to the received linguistic distinctions of whatever is rationally explicable. That there is no action at a distance, that every relating the phenomena. Here we go. That every phenomena has a single cause, and that its effects must resemble their causes. These are all errors. But we can go further and recognize a general priorist fallacy. Okay, so they are all errors. But we can go further and recognize general prior fallacies. And that's where I come to, one second. something called Dictuo Sanctium Quad, and that's where, okay, I'm laughing because they actually made an art out of this lion thing, y'all, and this is some serious stuff, okay? The guy looked at me and said he didn't know what I was talking about, and he's a professor and a highly paid communicator. Okay, so consequently, an important weapon against fallacy is consideration. Extracting the substance of an argument from a mass verbiage. But this device has its dangers. It may, I have to keep checking and making sure this doesn't cut off because that happens a lot, But this device too has its dangers. It may produce oversimplification. That is the fallacy or dictosanctanium quad of dropped relevant qualifications when we are suspect to a fallacy or aim must be to discover exactly what the argument is, and in general, the way to do this is to first pick out the main outlines and then to take it into account any relevant subtitles and qualifications. The reason why you would have to do this is because this quad is like they take it and they separate it into parts, this lie. And then it's harder, then they put a lot of verbiage in there, kind of like a lot of words that I'm using, but they mean nothing. Losing the point. Hiding in, or tucking in their lies like you're more easily accepted, with all the fluff. Does that sound like society a lot? Make a lot of noise and then tell you that it's okay, like the word organic now. Oh, well, organic just means that it has a certain percentage of so-and-so in there now. It doesn't mean that it does not spray the heck with pesticides and stuff. That's not what we mean. We just didn't stick it in a test tube, so it's organic. They're playing logistics and word games. Now, there's an essay on the art of controversy that I was planning on checking out, but some of the information from this really good article that I couldn't find again. I had found this article years ago. Let's see. And it was really cool. It was called Fallacies. It's from the Encyclopedia of Philosophy, 2006. And it's 19 pages. It's excellent. This has been knocked around for about over 5 years now, so that's why it looks this way with notes and all this kind of stuff that I was working with. But I hope you like this. This talk about wide mind reservation, the use of it, and fallacies, and some resources that I gave to you to check out these constructs that I'm talking about more, and how they collide with us. And I want to say much love to you, and good luck with your studies, and how you incorporate them into your daily lives, and how you reflect them back, because I appreciate them. I appreciate the support. This is Reg F and Howard Raw, giving it to you real, Siren Buddha medicine, coming from the heart. Much love to you. Bye, family.